Well, the government finally stepped in and took measures and did what they needed to do. They set up camps so that the Okies would have a place to stay where they would be safe and a place where they could be fed. And then the Great Jobs Works program, the Roosevelt administration started kicking in, and people were able to leave the camps and have real work and put their lives back together. And then, of course, World War II came along, and the camps finally emptied out. I think there's still one left, and it's sort of kept like a museum out in Weed Patch out by Bakersfield. But the farmers, you know, they had a great thing going while it lasted, in terms of they had people that would work for substandard wages and didn't have to, and without benefits or anything of the kind. And so they went looking for a new source, and where they found that new source of cheap labor and people that would work long hours without complaint was south of the border. And this is one of Woody Guthrie's later songs, and he heard a radio report about a plane load of these people. See, sometimes the growers would advertise for workers from Mexico, and then when the season was over, they'd call immigration, who would round them up and deport them, and they would get out of paying them their last week's wages that way. And one of these planes with deported immigrants went down, and Woody Guthrie's sense of justice was offended by the fact that none of their names were mentioned. They were just referred to as deportees. And it turns out that another young man, this is when Woody Guthrie was an old man, when a young man was listening to that same weather report. He was 13 years old. His name was Cesar Chavez, and it inspired him to embark upon a life of activism to help his people overcome their oppression, and so the circle continues. The crops are all in and the trucks are all loaded. The oranges are piled in their creosote dung. They're flying me back to the Mexico border to pay all my money to wait back again. My father's own father, he waded that river. They took all the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters come work in the fruit trees. They rode in the trucks till they took down and died. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be Deportee. Some of us are illegal and others not wanted. The work contract's up and we have to move on. 600 miles to the Mexico border. They chase us like outlaws, like rustlers and thieves. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be Deportee. We died in the hills and we died in the desert. We died in the canyons and we died on the plain. dried neath your trees and we died in your bushes, both sides of the river, we died just the same. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be Deportee. A big plane went down over Los Gatos Canyon with a fireball of lightning, and it shook all the hills. Now who are these friends that lay scattered like dry leaves? The radio said there's just Deportee. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be Deportee. Is the best way we can grow our big orchard? Is this the best way we can grow our good fruit? To fall like dry leaves and rot on your topsoil and be known by no name except Deportee. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride a big airplane, and all they will call you will be Deportee. All right, thanks.